Should I castle or not? That's a question I hear every day. So, should we, guys? We can see that black just castled kingside, and white does have some doubts. Should I really castle or not? So, we can see that there are three pieces looking all the way towards the king, which is the bishop, knight, and the queen, ready to sacrifice. So if you're an attacking player just like me, be ready to sacrifice bishop and see what happens next. So we call this Greek gift sacrifice. We start with the bishop. Why not? So we start with bishop takes h7, which checks the king. Now the king can run away to h8 or take on h7. There's multiple options. Let's see what happens if the king takes on h7. Now we're gonna follow up with another forcing move, which is a check. So we do have queen d3 up there, or we have knight to g5. I honestly prefer knight g5 because that checks the king. Now we also get our queen open diagonal ready to check king again. So after knight to g5, there are like a couple of options, which is king g8, king h8, king h6, or king g6. Honestly, every option is quite hopeless, but we're gonna see what if. Now after knight g5, king h6, we have knight takes f7, which is actually a double check, discover check, and double attack. So it's a check from the bishop, it's check from the knight, and at the same time we attack queen and the king. So after the king runs away, we just get a free queen. Great. Another option here is king to g6. Now after king to g6, we're gonna follow up with pawn to h4, hoping to get to h5 really soon and trap the king up here. Unfortunately, there are no escape squares up there. Black could still try to move rook to h8, but after h5, black has only two escape squares, which is f5 and h6. Again, both of those are bad. So after king h6, there's knight f7, which is again triple attack, and at the same time it's discover check, double check, and so on. So after king escapes to h7, we're gonna get this queen on d8. That's a free queen. Now, what if king to f5? If king to f5, we're gonna follow up with the checkmate in one. There's actually again multiple options. One is queen to f3, all the way up here, and that checks the king. And another option is to move pawn to g4, which will checkmate the king again. Yeah, so we come back to the initial position. And what if king h8? King h8, now we're really happy because the queen can get all the way to h5. That would be a check. King has to run away, and after that, queen h7, checkmate in one. Right? And the last option, what if king to g8? King to g8. And it's still great. We get our queen all the way to h5. It might seem that black can stop this checkmate on h7. Actually, they can't. So even if they do knight to f6, we're gonna use the pawn to capture this knight and still follow up with queen h7 mate. Yeah. There's one more option up here. What if rook to e8? Now we have a couple of forcing moves, which is queen takes f7 and queen h7. We're not going to consider queen h8 because then just king is going to take on h8. Now, what if queen h7? That could be done, but the problem is that the king might be able to run away to f8, and after another check on h8, king a7, queen takes g7. We are almost there. We're about to checkmate, but we always should consider what if black will defend it. After rook f8, actually there is no checkmate anytime soon, so it will still take some time for us to win. We want to bring another bishop up here and maybe open up and like move knight h7, attack the rook, and so on. So that would be like a long game. But what if I actually decide to checkmate sooner? So after rook to e8, the best move here is to eliminate this pawn on f7. That would check the king, and after king h8, we're just gonna come back. I know it's dancing around, but still it's quite helpful. So queen h5, king g8. We remove this pawn on f7, so there will be no pawns on the way. We'll be nicely checkmating in a few moves. After queen h7 check, king f8, queen h8, king to e7, and here we go. There is a checkmate up here. There's no pawns in the way. King can't escape to any square up here. That's it. That's mate right now.